Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm very excited to be back. Almost 2 years ago, I promised a video about children's book collections, and the day finally came. Better late than never, right? I have a lot of news to tell, but I'll tell you in another video. So, today we're going to make a comparison between several collections of children's books. The focus is durability and appearance. I really hope you enjoy it. We will go through 13 different collections, publications or brands, so hope you're ready. Let's jump into it. First, the New York Review Children's Collection, published by the New York Review of Books. Here I have two books that I'll be showing you. The Secret of the Rome Morgue Scary by Rosalie K. Fry and We Gillies by MinaLima. Both of them are very cherished stories. As you may notice, the size of the book varies depending on the title, and there are other differences, but the binding and the style of the cover keep the visual unity of the collection. On the cover we always have an illustration, the title and the author inside this little box, and the nice New York Review logo. The suggested price for this edition is $15.95. Neither expensive nor cheap, right? Well, some titles have plain end papers, and I find the quality of the paper really okay. Here we have cream-colored paper, but it varies depending on the title. This edition contains some black and white illustrations, but again, there is not a standard. It seems each book is designed with a specific project for its content, especially respecting the original publication and its illustrations. Well, I personally find them simple and pretty. The cover design of this collection is exactly the kind of thing I enjoy. This copy of We Gillies is taller and wider. There is only one thing about this collection that I find really disappointing. Do you have a guess? Yes, it's about the binding. Unfortunately, it is only glued, but that's a pity, right? This edition of We Gillies has illustrated end papers. The paper is white and heavyweight. It's a nice, well-made book, except that they did not have a sewn binding. So, overall, the half-cloth binding in this pretty red and paper boards please me a lot, and the boards are always very sturdy and resistant. They are printed in the US, so for some of you this could be a plus. This collection was founded in 2003. Some of the many children's books that have fallen out of print are among the titles of the collection, and many books that are out of mainstream attention despite being awesome are also in this collection. The series includes more than 80 titles. Some are picture books, some are young adult novels, and one of the things that I love the most about having a channel on YouTube is how much I learn things from people who watch my videos. Actually, I got to know this collection through a comment someone left on one of my videos many years ago. Somehow, I find these books appealing. As far as I'm concerned, you won't find the majority of the titles in this series in another collection. Moving on, next we have Sterling Unabridged Classics by Sterling Children's Books, New York. This collection definitely grew on me. I love the fact that the same artist, Scott McCowan, made the black and white illustrations of the entire collection and the color illustration on the cover. So here you have uniformity on your shelves. The cover illustration is always in full color. The dust jacket looks a bit outdated. I don't like the color illustration on the cover. I prefer the black and white illustrations. This looked like they took the black and white illustration and put some color on Photoshop, but that's me, I'm picky. Well, the book plate on the end papers is a nice touch. These books are cheap, less than $10. What you get is a simple hardcover inside a matching dust jacket. The spine of the book is blocked in gold. This is a lovely design, and the book definitely looks good. It is bound in paper, and the book itself is much more beautiful without a jacket, right? The text block is printed on a nice quality cream-colored paper. The text size is nice, and the book has many black and white small illustrations. Another plus, the binding is sewn, so thumbs up. The color selection is also nice. Here we have another title, and this pretty pale pink. The illustrations on this one are nicer. And there are lots of famous titles in the collection. Overall, I find them really okay. The quality is good, and these books are affordable, and without the jackets they will look surprisingly pretty on the shelves. So moving on, next, from the same publisher, we have a collection called Classic Starts. First of all, these are retold stories, okay? Well, I remember reading lots of classics when I was a kid without even realizing they were retold stories, and I remember how fun they were despite not knowing that they were not the original text. Well, especially now that I have a kid, I find this collection a great way to have younger kids read the great classics. Each story is adapted to children, easy to read and carefully written. I just finished reading this book here, and it was an enjoyable read and overall well written. Plus, these books have amazing price. This one is $5.95. The selection of titles goes beyond traditional children's stories. They are perfect as an introduction to a nice variety of classics. They are far from pretty, right? But they are well built. The quality of the paper it's okay. Not great, but better than what we find on the majority of banking books, for example. I wouldn't get them for myself, but I thought it would be nice to show it to you. So, moving on, Knickerbocker Classics by Race Point Publishing. I absolutely love the old-fashioned look of these books and the colors. I'm a big fan of cloth-bound books. They look good. The illustrations on these bags could be ugly, but they ended up being lovely and they don't peel off, so don't worry about that. I love the shiny text on the cover and spine. This one is blocked in silver. Instead of keeping them inside an ugly jacket, they wisely chose to put information at the back so you may easily remove it. As you may see, the suggested price of this title is $14.99. I find it a fair price considering what you get here. The covers have very sturdy boards, very resistant, and there is a matching decorated end paper in each book. Inside, we have cream-colored paper, and they have color illustrations too, and of course, some binding. To be honest, there's only one thing that to me is a bit strange in these books. The length of the text line is a bit too wide, and the format of the book feels strange on the hands. Otherwise, these are great books. This is a small collection. It has only a handful of titles if you are one of those people that can't rest until you complete a collection. Moving on, and next will be quick, right? Puffin Hardcover Classics. This Puffin collection has beautiful covers, nice titles, and I do agree that they have a cute minimalistic design. The textured hardcover binding is cute, but materials are cheap. The paper is just bad, and the binding is glued. But again, they look cute, and for younger readers, they are a nice gift. And the titles are some of my favorites, like Huck Finn, Anne of Green Gables, Peter Pan. But this collection is not my cup of tea. For the same price, as you may see in this video, there are far superior options. Next, we have one of my favorites, Everyman Library Children's Classics. I have been collecting them for years and I really like them, especially their golden spine. They look great on the shelves. I have some videos talking about them if you're curious. In short, the cover design is not unanimous. Some people hate it. I love it. The colors are great. Of course, some titles are more beautiful than others. This edition of Heidi is one of the last I bought and also one of my favorites. The black and gold decorations on the spine are incredible. A shelf full of these books is one of the most beautiful things. But you need to be careful because this spine can wear out or get scratched. So far, I've been lucky. Only a couple of editions of my collection show some fading on the spine. This particular edition brings illustrated end papers. It looks amazing, and the illustrations inside are joy too. Usually the end papers are decorated like this, with a bookplate. I enjoy it, but the illustrated end papers that came in Heidi look better, but I guess it was an exception. All the other titles have this black and white pattern as in papers, at least the ones I have. They all have good quality cream color paper, the size of the font is nice, and of course the bindings are sewn. They also feature a matching ribbon marker. Each title features illustrations by different artists. This copy of Pinocchio has color illustrations, but there are also editions in which the illustrations are in black and white. While all books have the same format, and the effect on the shelves is gorgeous, I still have to get something between 15 and 20 books to complete the collection, but I think these books are totally worth it. Because of this collection, I got to know one of my favorite books, Daddy Long Legs. Well, now I have another lovely book collection that I believe that you may not be aware of. It's called Slightly Foxed Cubs. I'll be quoting the website, right? Slightly Foxed Cubs is a series of beautifully produced collectible children's books which strike a nostalgic chord with many older readers and introduce a younger generation to writers whose marvelous books have unaccountably been allowed to slip out of print. Bound in colored cloth, with printed end papers and original illustrations, the cubs make ideal presents. Well, they are lovely books, hand-bound, and the titles available are a gem. The only downside is the amount of titles available. I have a video on them if you want to know more, right? And next, we have some classics by Dover that I wanted to show. This one comes in a glossy dust jacket. Here you may see the price, and the spine is very pretty, don't you think? But the paper, oh, the paper is very disappointing. I expected a bit more, to be honest, not to mention the glued binding, so to me it's a no-no. Next, as you all know, Barnes & Noble Collectible Editions has some children's classics too. Each volume features an elegant bonded leather binding, distinctive gilt edging, decorative end papers, and a colorful ribbon bookmark, as they state on their website. Not sure if they function as a proper collection, but some of them are really pretty. This edition of The Complete Peter Rabbit is very, very cute. The only problem is that I don't enjoy how many of the original illustrations are arranged on the same page. Some people complain about the bonded leather too, but since I'm not a big fan of leather, I really don't care. I would even prefer other materials such as cloth, but many of them are cute, like this one. Next, impossible not to mention the beautifully designed MinaLima illustrated series by Harper Design. To introduce this collection, I'll quote MinaLima's website. Mirafara Lima and Eduardo Lima joined forces in 2002 to create the graphic world of the Harry Potter films. 8 films later, their successful collaboration led them to found MinaLima, a London-based studio specializing in graphic and illustration design. Well, this collection here is the result of their work with Harper Design to ensemble something unique, full of interactive and pop-up elements, letters, maps, dials. As you may see, they are really, really pretty books, really well made, and an amazing work of design. They're so colorful, definitely worth collecting. These books I have here are brand new. To be honest, I personally find that there are too many interactive elements and I prefer something more minimalistic, but that's only me. For younger readers, these books would be super fun to read and an amazing gift. The text paper isn't heavyweight, but that's probably because the interactive elements ended up making the book a bit bulky. And I have to mention, these are not exactly cheap. Here I also have the Beauty and the Beast, which is also gorgeous. And I enjoy them, I like them, but there's so many tricks, I don't have enough patience for that. Well, we're almost finishing. Here we have some children's classics by Calla. They are usually cloth-bound books. This copy of Beauty and the Beast is a retold story, but one of my favorites from this collection is this copy of Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens, emulating the original publication, illustrated by Arthur Hackram. The copy of the Beauty and the Beast is printed on a nice heavyweight cream color coated paper, and the illustrations are gorgeous in full color and black and white. It seems the same paper is used here in Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens, illustrated by the same artist. Of course, these copies have sewn bindings. And one alert, the color of the paper may vary. Here I have also a copy of East of the Sun, West of the Moon, and the coated paper they used is white, so keep that in mind. Next we have Taschen Children's Classics. Not exactly a collection, but this duo matches nicely and would be great if they released more titles matching these two here. Their spines are to die for, and they both have two nice ribbon markers. I really love the cover design. I won't go far because I have videos on both of them, but I wanted to mention them here because they are really nice and pretty in case you haven't seen them before and you want something like a duo of fairy tales that are nice and affordable. And finally, how not to mention Folio Society Rainbow Fairy books. Folio is hopefully slowly reprinting them, and they are at the top of my Folio wish list. I hope they do it really slowly because they are really expensive, especially nowadays, but they are amazing. When we look at an edition of this size, we think it has 2,000 pages, but look at that, they're just over 300, and that's because the paper is extremely heavyweight. They are wonderful books. Folio has beautiful editions of children's books in general. Those that are not exactly a collection, well, they look like a carnival on the shelves, let's be honest, but they are individually stunning and really, really amazing. So, guys, I guess that's all for today. Some of the collections I mentioned here, I got to know a few years ago through your comments, so be sure to comment if I forgot to mention any interesting collections. And don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It's really nice to be back. See y'all, and thanks for watching. Bye.